Welcome to another episode of Not Your Money. If you're new to crypto, or if you're not, you probably will have heard that investing in crypto is far from easy. There are promises of hefty returns, spectacular returns for some, but actually most have been burnt. Whether it's data that's not available, trying to identify murky projects, understanding the technologies, there have been scams. There's all sorts of pitfalls in the world of crypto, and navigating this space remains very, very tedious. To solve this problem, Julien and Pierre will join me on today's show to talk about their amazing project called DigNow. Their endeavor is to try and discard that black box and help investors simplify the investment process and make it a bit easier and truly democratic and accessible to all. So without any further ado, let me welcome both Pierre and Julien to the stage. Welcome, Pierre. Welcome, Julien. Great to have you on today.
Hello, Francesco. Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be there.
Hi.
Fantastic. So how about we start with a nice introduction, guys? Who are you? Where do you come from? What are you doing?
Yeah, thank you. I start, Julien?
Of course, yeah.
Let's go. I'm Pierre. I'm 40 years old. I come from Brittany in the west of France. I'm living in Switzerland since 10 years now. My background is in finance, shipping and trading. And I've been working in the maritime transportation industry and then in the public transportation industry, mainly as a project manager and an operation manager until 2022. And at that time, I started to get very interested with the cryptocurrency, the blockchain technology. That's when I told to myself that it was the time for me to make a career change. So that's what I did. So I started as a project manager in a layer 1 in Geneva. So I did almost everything from scratch. So very, very good experience as a professional. So this is how I jumped into the crypto industry 2 years ago. And this is why we are building our own company now with Julien since end of 2023. Sorry.
Fantastic. Thank you. Julien?
My name is Julien. I come from south of France. Moved to Switzerland 10 years ago. So I'm the IT guy. So all my studies in computing, I was only in really big corps. So being SRE, DevOps, sysadmin, my position changed name all the time, but still remain. We manage servers, we try to have reliability everywhere. So I jumped in the startup world 6 years ago with Swissborg. So when the CTO just reached me on LinkedIn and asked me to jump in the project, I was one of the 10 engineers maybe. And I built the full infrastructure of Swissborg, and I leave the project 4 months ago to jump on this fantastic project, and I will be the CTO of DigNow.
Fantastic, thanks. So let's dive right in. So is it fair to say that crypto is still black box investing?
That's a good one. We can. Let's say that black box investing, it refers in investment strategy more that rely on proprietary algorithm and models. So what makes it different from the crypto industry is that it's the complexity. So the crypto industry is quite complex. You need to have a lot of knowledge, technical knowledge to understand what is there. In traditional finance, in black box model, maybe you can say that the algorithm and the models are complex, but it's often opaque. So you don't know what happens behind it. In the crypto industry, one of the main advantage of the technology, the blockchain technology, is the transparency. So you can access a lot of things on project online. You know exactly what happens. This is not the case in the normal TradFi, I would say. the thing is that we can also imagine a lot of things in the TradFi is based on the data. There is a lot of data on the algorithm, the models handle a lot of data. And we can imagine that in the crypto industry, we are missing some data yet. There is data, but it's not handled or managed the good way. So this is
Okay,
what
so let's make this a little more tangible, Pierre. Let's go through the investment process today. Let's walk the viewer through that investment process. There's on-chain data, there's price, there's market cap, there's a certain set of information that's widely available or is available. Whether it's widely available or not, I'll let you run through that. But there's also less available information about the company, about the technology behind the project. There's plenty of information that any investor should probably know about, right, before investing. So maybe you want to take us through this process?
Yeah. So if somebody wants to invest in the crypto industry, let's say a retail investor, for example, there is a high entry barrier. So there is a lot of things to understand, the business part, the technical part, it's time consuming. And moreover, there is a lot of projects. So when you want to invest, you need to focus on which kind of project you want to choose. So that's a very long process to understand what kind of project you want to invest in. You need to have a good experience on that. So when you get this experience of investing, you have to look at a lot of data if you want to really have a full understanding of a project. So you need to read the white paper. You need to get some information about the team. Is the team doxed? Is the team has some experience in the Web3? Is the team has some experience in a startup? Has the company some partnerships? So do they get the credibility from other companies in the ecosystem? So that's really important. Or are they working on their own? What is the community of a project? Do they have some followers on LinkedIn, on Twitter? How many people are in the Telegram group? So this is the kind of things that I usually use to look at before investing in a project. I want to be sure that people before me have done the due diligence and validated the project by following it, investing it, talking about it. So this is like if the other people did it, so it's a way for me to be reassured in my investment. So this is a long process that people look at the beginning. When you get more experience in the crypto investing, you are going to check a lot more data. The other data could be the on-chain data. So what are the volume? What are the transactions? If it's a blockchain, for example, how many token or dollars are staked in a smart contract? What is the TVL of a project, for example? So as soon as you get more and more experience on a wider understanding of the ecosystem, you then are going to look at much more data. So maybe you will see somebody on YouTube talking about a project and say, okay, that guy said this project is good, so I invest. But after some months, after some years, maybe you will make your own due diligence, and this process can maybe take some hours if you want to be really complete. So it really depends on the way that you are in the ecosystem, your understanding, and the time you have to make all this kind of verification before taking the decision to invest in a project.
Let me just probe on that a little bit and then maybe ask you a question, Julien. So you mentioned that crypto investing is not very accessible. Actually, technically it is, right? In terms of getting onboarded is very easy compared to traditional finance. Downloading an app, transferring some cash in and doing your first trade can be theoretically very, very easy. It is very easy. But what you're alluding to is the process of scrubbing projects, performing that due diligence becomes wider and wider with experience. You start understanding all the different spectrums of data you should really get your head around, and that might not be obvious, right, to the novice, to the new investor. So maybe Julien, tell us about the data structure today. What is out there? What's available? What's on chain and what's not on chain? Let's start unpacking that world of data.
Yeah, thanks for intro, because you said about on-chain and not on-chain, which is quite new, because if you analyze a project, let's say Web2 project, a startup, whatever, you don't have this on-chain. If this, if this company or this project is not working with the blockchain. So if you want to analyze, you have only off-chain data, and then it starts to be complex. And if you want to go deeper inside the company, you don't have such structure. So many people think Web3 projects are unstructured, totally pirates, like you do your stuff and everything is hidden, and you invest in crypto, so maybe not in taxes. I don't know. So it is not at all. Everything is really, really transparent. And this is something really strange to most people that invest in other than crypto investment. And this is really, really interesting today, because with the blockchain, everything is public, for public blockchain, of course, and everything is public. And so you can have the data, but there is a lot of data and a lot of projects. So if you want to analyze data on chain by yourself, of course, you need the tool, you need tools. This is for sure. It's very hard for an investor to dig into on-chain data like this raw. Then you have the off-chain data. And the off-chain data, which is good for us, it's quite poor. It's not that easy to get on-chain data. They are totally spread around the internet.
Sorry, Julien, can we just spell that out? When you so on-chain data, we mean transactions, volumes, users, flows, TVL.
Yeah, and even the tokenomics, which is great. So people said, okay, now my money, I invest in this project, and I cannot touch my money for 6 months, 12 months, I don't know, for cliff investing. And if you do that in the standard, I don't know, the previous word, then it's not that easy. Here, everything is on chain, everything. So people transfer the token on a smart contract, and then this smart contract manage the release. Everything is on chain, and most of the time public. So even the code of this smart contract is public and open source. So yeah, everything is quite transparent, and it's really easy to have data and to know what is happening. So because everyone are thinking about the amount of transaction and stuff like this, but also we can evaluate the code on chain. Yeah. So when you see the smart contract changing often, and you can see improvement, you can visualize that. And this is really important. Yeah, this is really important. Today we have a lot of tools. There is a lot of tools, but it's really hard, because most of the tools are trying to analyze some parts of the market, some part of the data. So only on-chain, but even on-chain, some projects try to analyze only part of the on-chain data, and then some others try to do off-chain, but this is way more difficult. And yeah, this is where it starts to be interesting. It's to analyze almost everything.
And tell us more about the off-chain data then. What do we refer to then? The teams, the investors, perhaps.
Oh yeah, but yeah, we are there. The thing is, there is a lot, and sometimes we have some very common. So teams, social media, tokenomics. What I mean tokenomics off-chain is the use cases of the token and the utility of the token. But sometimes we have some others that are a bit more rare, let's say. So like the roadmap evaluation, roadmap data, because many people send the roadmap, like one slide in the PowerPoint, and you have the roadmap. But it could be interesting to analyze the roadmap and to analyze the commitment on this roadmap. Also, competitors and partnership. This is two really, really important points, because the competitors analysis are not all the time well done by the team. So if you analyze this, and you can see that if you want to invest in a project, but the competitors' landscape is really, really under pressure, then it starts to be a risk. And partnership, really important in this world, and in any world, but really important here, with who you are working and who trust you. So this is really important. And if you analyze this, it's also bring a lot of trust in the project. And then you have a bit the crazy ones. So the legal part, if a project is in Japan, if a project starts in Dubai, Russia, then it starts to be interesting to analyze the legal part. We are here in Switzerland. So if you are managing fund in Switzerland, then the legal part is really, really important, and it moves the risk of the project drastically.
That's interesting. Thanks, Julien. And how thorough do you think the investor community is today? I know it's quite broad. You know, you had the VCs, the institutionals, the professionals, the retail investors, but how savvy do you think the market is today in terms of understanding that? We talk about FOMO a lot, right? There's a new trend. It might be the metaverse or the meme coin frenzy that's on right now, and suddenly you just see that the market moving in a certain direction, which seems very immature a way of investing. If you ask, I don't know, maybe a neutral person, which I consider myself to be. So how sophisticated do you think the market is today in understanding the complexity of data?
Yeah, two things here. It's one, the professional, but when I say professional, is professional are moving to Web3, are moving to the blockchain, to crypto. And when I said that, it's not just ETF. ETF is one really interesting point. So the banking words, let's say, and it's moving to this, but it provides access. It's not really invest in crypto to me. Of course, yes, but it's moving to this direction. But if you take Nike, Adidas, Louis Vuitton, all of those are spending a lot of money, but really big amount of money to move to Web3 world. Sometimes it's for Tesla project is very good on Web3 because it's the identity card of the car. So I don't want to do the advertisement of this because I don't have a Tesla, so it's okay. Yeah, they do that. So if you buy a new car, even if it's a second hand, whatever, you have the NFT of the car, and this NFT will bring you who are all the people that use the car, all the previous owners, and then all the reparation you did. I don't know, everything you did on the car is on the NFT live. This is for me a really interesting project, and many huge brands are moving to Web3, which is NFT or Fidelity. For Fidelity, the big brands are moving there, and it will change everything. And most people won't know that they will use NFT. This will be transparent. They will enter the crypto world without knowing they are entering the crypto world. So this is first thing, and it's not investing, but it's really important to me, because if the whole world is moving to this, then it changes a lot. And then for investors, so professional investors, I think now in 2024 are way better, and now better understand what is project and infrastructure project, deep in DeFi, especially DeFi. So yeah, the previous bull market, or let's say 4 years ago, something like this, it was quite interesting to analyze DeFi because DeFi was a little bit fireworks. Now it's a bit structured. Everything is way more structured, by the way. And I think investors are better and better. But investing in crypto, we are talking about a small amount of people on Earth. And I think now, when people want to enter this world, you have two kinds of investor. You have the first one. So if I think about retail or even professional, even professional is really important. They want to buy something not risky. But we are talking about crypto, so everything, the risk is almost maximum, but they want not to take the risk. So they invest in BTC, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Solana, some meme coins. Sometimes it's a bit strange, but it's okay for me. So this is where investors are right now. It's a professional and also a retail that enter this market. But in 2024, which is great, is many investors enter with Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., and now they are moving the next step. And this next step is really hard. It's really hard. So you can invest $100. With Pierre, we'll love to say one ticket. So it's for you the amount of money you put on the project, and you are okay to lose it, let's say. So you can put some money on projects, but where do you find this project? Where if you are trying to use analytics platform, then it's really hard, because on analytics platform you should know what to look for. Most of the time, it's really hard to say, okay, I will go on a platform and say, okay, on which token I will invest now. Really hard. And otherwise, as Pierre said, you have crypto guys on YouTube, and you can start watching videos and do your own research. You have some trainings here and there. So yeah, so in 2024, investors are much more mature, but
still a lot of people are entering this, and this is really hard for them. And also the second step, it's really hard for many people.
Understood. So it's clear there's a ton of data on chain, off chain. There's a lot. We're in the digital age, so whether it's influencers, YouTubers, there's plenty of information and insight we get. What's the role of AI then in helping that data collection, analysis, and delivering the insight to an investor? What's your view?
So I will provide much more maybe a DigNow point of view, because AI is AI, and we are not here to reshape what is AI, and of course not. But for us, AI is really important, and no, it's not important. It's vital for this project because it's bring scalability. Mm-hmm. For us, it's a bit another level of automation, like smart automation. Because now we have LLM, so large language model, and with this you can understand text. You can understand rich text, which are complex to understand, and then building our own model that understand perfectly a white paper, for example. It changed everything. Because if you want to analyze white papers, I will take one project as an example. I love this project, and I love the white paper because for me, it's impossible to understand. It's TAO, bit tensor. I love the white paper. I love the project, but to me, it's far from crypto. It's much more mathematics. It's really interesting, but it's really hard to analyze, really hard. And I'm only talking about the white paper, which is only one point of an analysis. So how to analyze TAO? Of course, you can go on YouTube and say TAO, because now June 2024, it's okay because many people analyze this project. But if you have TAO at the very beginning and you wanted to analyze at the very beginning, then should I invest on this or not? Oh, wow, really hard to say. So here is AI. Thanks to this technology, we can now leverage a huge amount of servers and huge amount of power to make our system understanding, for example, white papers in this example. So this is how we use AI to have a lot. When I say scalability, it's a lot because projects now, we have a lot of projects, 20 to 30 new projects every day. Bad and good. We will discuss that maybe after. But if you want to analyze everything, we need AI. It's not just a fun to. So some friends told me, oh yeah, it's great. You use AI to put some magics on your analysis. Oh, not at all. We use AI to analyze everything at scale. This change everything. But and then to have a lot of stability and to bring stability in our analysis, then we are using our own model. This is where it's hard to say, you are at DigNow, you use ChatGPT. It's impossible because if you want to use ChatGPT and only that, then it's really hard to have a pure structure, your structure of analysis.
Thanks, Julien. So, Pierre, what's the vision at DigNow? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to solve? How are you fixing this data analysis problem?
Yeah. So what we have to get in mind is that we think with Julien that the market will be very, very exponential in the coming years. Why? Because we see there is a trend of traditional companies that are using the token as a new vehicles for the future. That brings a lot of liquidity to the market. So this is a new way of investing, and we think that the token is clearly it was hard in the recent years for a lot of reasons, but we think that clearly we see the trend that the token is going to be much more important in the new and modern economy. So by saying that, we know with Julien that a lot of companies are going to develop themselves. A lot of traditional companies are going to use a token as an investment, but also to reflect the value of the assets that they do have in the company. So by saying that, we know that a lot of people will want to invest in a company through a token in the coming years. So
can I just probe on that 1 second, just to reflect on it? Just help me understand, me, the viewer, whoever's going to watch this, the difference between what you just said and what a share represents of a company today. Yeah? So in a pre-crypto world, you would express that, and that still happens. Apple, Tesla, as Julien just mentioned, are expressed in shares. You own a piece of a company through that share certificate. So what do you mean by tokenization in this sense, in terms of how the market is going to move more in this direction?
Yeah, so maybe there were two things. The first one is the tokenization, for example, of shares. So you have your company, you tokenize your shares, and anybody can buy, sell the shares on the 24 market with we can imagine a lot of liquidity. So it brings a lot of advantage for the investors. The first one is that usually the token supply is fixed. It means that if you have, for example, 0.5% of the share, you will keep 0.5% of the share. In the traditional equity investment, there is a risk that there is a dilution with more token to be created later on. So investing in a token, depending on the tokenomics, of course, can be much more interesting for investors for that reason, and also for the liquidity reason. It's not easy if the company is not on the stock market to sell your shares. That's really complicated. So this is why we think that the token is really a good way for a lot of companies to transform and to reflect the value that they create into their token. So that's the part for the tokenization, but that's also for us. So at DigNow, we are building an analytics platform to create evaluation of projects, mainly for investors, but not only. The goal is really to offer impartial and holistic evaluation of projects. For doing that, we use AI, and we use blockchain technology, and we use a token. So the token that we will have will reflect all the value that we are developing. So that's the huge database of off-chain and on-chain data. So that's what Julien explained. So the data set that we have is one of the most important assets that we are building in the company. To access this database on all the information, all the data that we have, you will need the token. So the token will reflect the development of the database that we have. Also for that, we talked about AI. For me, AI, it's important. The combination of AI and blockchain technology to collect, to validate, and to process the data, it's important. But we have to be very, very conservative on that, because we know the technology is going very fast. If we only keep the AI in mind, we can be outdated very soon. So what is important for us is the process of collecting, validating, and processing the data. And we need almost every month to ensure that there is not any other advancement in the AI technology that will help us to be much more efficient in the way that we collect, validate, and process the data. So the process that we have defined, the mechanism that we have defined for having accurate data and processing a large amount of data is one of the assets of the company. And this is reflected with the token. In addition of that, the combination of AI and blockchain technology that will help us to collect the data is really important, because the mechanism that we have defined will help our AI to improve, to self-improve. And the goal is to reduce the part of the community that will collect and validate the data, and to increase the part of the AI that will collect and validate the data. So the token mechanism that we have is really important, because it's a way, I would say, the most important way for us to improve and to have a continuous improvement in the AI model. So the token reflects the AI improvement, the data set that we have, on-chain and off-chain data, and also the process that allow us to collect and validate this amount of data. So that is why the token, if somebody wanted to invest in our company through the token, for example, we can imagine that he's not only buying a token for fundraising part, he's buying the token that will reflect the development of the company, the development of the technology, the development of the network, the development of the community, and the development of the database that we are working on. So if we look at a 3 or 5 years perspective, our goal with Julien is that there is a new token created, like on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko is listing there. Our goal is that we automatize the collection of data, the validation of accurate data, and the processing of the data to offer in 2 or 3 days a global evaluation and a scoring of a crypto project. So this is our final goal. So we have a lot of steps, a lot of development before doing that, but this is the final goal. So it means that if you are an investor in the crypto industry, or you want to enter the crypto industry as an investor, we want to be the tool, the go-to tool for people to get the good data and the good evaluation of project for helping them to make a better decision-making in their investment process.
That's very fascinating, guys. I mean, if I think of the different data providers that are out there, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, Messari, you name it, they all offer their own view and perspective. Most of them all start the same by market cap, right? They in descending order, which tends to influence investors towards just looking at the same bunch of tokens by size. And then if you dig in, you'll get different perspectives, even different classifications of tokens. The same token can be classified in different ways in different platforms, analyzed in different ways in different platforms. So the data accuracy right now, I find is quite patchy. But maybe just taking a step further, I like to imagine sort of you land on one of these data providers and somehow you'll find something you don't see today, which is this filter of everything an investor should know or be aware of or be able to filter for to be able to make a better informed decision. So how do you imagine that visualized? What could that look like?
That's a good question, Francesco. Thank you for asking it. So we can imagine for us in our vision, there is 2 levels. So we've started to develop that. So we have our developers developing the app. So you can imagine that if you are retail investors, you will access evaluation of a crypto project. You will access scoring. On the scoring, it will be a global scoring, but also a scoring for the risks of the project. For the opportunity of the project, is it promising, and for the feasibility. So for example, if you look at the meme coins, the feasibility is really high because we know there is almost nothing behind it. But the risks are really high. Also because there is no utility of this kind of meme coins behind it. So for me, for example, if I think about the meme coins, I will never invest in this kind of project. But if you, for example, you like meme coins, you will look at the information on the app and say, okay, so I have a high I am a high risky guy, so I don't care about the high risk, but I want high rewards. So I'm going to invest in this kind of project. So we cannot say what is a good project or what is a bad project. It will really depend on each profile. So if somebody wants to invest in the meme coins, okay, he does it. He has all the information that we will provide to get that. The thing is that to have an impartial and holistic evaluation of a crypto project, we defined 1,000 data points with Julien, 160 criteria for 12 families of criteria. So it means that we'll have a lot of data. So we started to collect a lot of data now, but we will have a large amount of data on a large amount of crypto projects. So this kind of data are really important for us to process the data and to make the best evaluation of crypto project that we want. But that's also really important for the investors, despite your retail investor or your professional investors. We defined what we call the heavy filtering. It means that people will have access to the data, but they will have access to the data that we define are important, on which we define are not important. because of the machine learning model that we get on all the historical data that we analyzed through our process. It means that for us, for example, we can imagine that if the team is 4 people, that's not important for me as an investor. But if we look at all the data of all the crypto projects, we can imagine, I don't say it's like that, but if there is four co-founders, the project has 60% chance more to go to zero for whatever reason, because the people, there are some conflicts or whatever. And we can imagine that if there is only 2 co-founders, the chance of success are more important. So this is the kind of data that we are going to evaluate based on 1,000 data points. What is important there is that if you, as an investor, you really don't care about the number of co-founders, and you say, okay, so this data about the number of co-founders, I just want to get it out of my evaluation. So you will be able to customize all the criteria that are important for you. Because we've been talking with a lot of VCs. Some of them said, okay, I'm not going to invest in your company because you are not in my thesis, because you're only 2 male and I wanted to have a female, because you're only two guys from Europe and we wanted people from Asia and from America, for example. So that's okay. But this is not a criteria that might be important. Maybe it is, but maybe it's not, for the success of the project. But some investors, they do have some specific criteria that they want to fulfill. So we are going to offer that. They will be able to define exactly which kind of criteria they want to use and what ponderation they want to use for this criteria. So at the end, they will be able to get our evaluation based on the historical data with all the crypto projects that we've been analyzed, project that they need for their profile and their specific criteria. So this is really important, mainly for the professional investors. For VCs, we can imagine that retail investors have less specific needs, but it will depend on the people, of course.
Just to take that a step further, Pierre. So as a professional investor, you're suggesting that aside from having my trading venues, say Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, whatever, the chosen exchanges are, I'd have your software as a market data provider on top, where I can do my analysis, assessments, and then go off and do what I do, but with greater insight and confidence, as opposed to being an integrated solution in those same trading venues? Or could there be a bit of both?
This is funny you asked the question, because we've been talking about that. So this is not in the plan for in the shorter roadmap that we have now. It might come later on, but this is not one of our focus. What we really want to offer now is an evaluation tool for investors. So I would say it's more for investor rather than for trader. We don't want to say, okay, so today you have to sell and tomorrow you have to buy. We have a much more longer perspective on what we want to offer to investors. Is really a long perspective on, is this project a good one? Not a good one, but is this project interesting? Is it promising, based on all the historical data that we collect and the prediction that we are able to do because of the accurate data that we have in our data set on the technology that we are developing. So I would say that we don't focus. Our target is much more the investor rather than the trader, with a much more longer perspective than talking about weeks or months. Yeah. So we want to offer 2, 3, 4, 5 years perspective on a project rather than in weeks or months.
I was going to ask you about risks, but you touched on that already in terms of how your tool, your idea, your solution will help identify some risk factors. Are you going to be testing or back testing this to assess how this could have helped, for instance, identify Terra Luna, just to name one, or FTX? There are so many different examples of how, projects have gone, differently to how they originally portrayed to be, and not to mention some outright scam and fraudulent projects. Do you think the collection of all of your data set will help flag some of those cases early?
I will take this one. So just to complement what Pierre said just before, you have bad and good project, okay? And which is great is, for me, building DigNow is first, what is a bad project? And when I said a bad project, it's not in investing point of view, it's bad project, a project that will fail, for sure. So this is really important, or a project which is a scam, which is also really interesting to analyze. Because if we can find that, for sure, 100%, of course it's not, but you get me, then it's a nice feature and it's a nice success, for sure. Even without evaluating any project, if you only find the bad ones, the real bad ones, then you start to have something. So which is great. Then you have good project, and I hate this word because, as Pierre said, as an investor, there is no good project for everyone. It's like whiskey. If you like whiskey, your neighbor do not like the same as you, for sure. This is the point. So Pierre said about meme coins, and we can talk a lot of things. And so if Pierre and myself do not want to invest in meme coins, first, we do not want to influence our users by our choices. This is really important for me. This is the impartial part of DigNow. We do not want to influence anyone regarding their investment. We are not here for that. We are here to make analysis based on data and with computers. And we will use AI as supercomputer and not AI to mimic humans. This is really something strategic and something really important at DigNow. We do not want to use AI as something crazy. We want to use AI as smart computers. This is the first one. Then, as Pierre said, good project is good for someone and not for another one. So you have to choose your good project, and we will provide you all the tools you need, especially filters, AV filtering, which this is the name of this feature, to make that. And then, so we will have data and evaluation and analysis of project, which I like to say it's vertical, Each project, you have the data and the analysis all the time. But if you have all the verticality, then you can start to build something really, really interesting, which is horizontality. And then analyze project by project and project with other projects, all the L1, all the L2, all the DPIN, specific DPIN, specific RWA, whatever, okay? You can just pick some of them and then compare. If you buy on Amazon and you want to buy a new bike, you can just click on compare, you select 5 and you compare the 5. Oh, wow, nice. Why do we not have this on crypto? Because it could be really interesting to analyze projects one by one, but the only one I want, and not a full list only filtered by market cap or whatever. This is not really interesting. It is, but it's not at the end what will make you make the decision. So did DigNow evaluated the Terra Luna issue? I hope yes. Because with this horizontality about analyzing projects, all of them, and analyzing some, and I say horizontality, but you can also, do like this, and evaluating one white paper with transaction, with tokenomics of another project. And it's not only horizontality, it's in everything. Then it starts to be interesting to analyze if two projects have too many links and maybe some issues.
That's interesting, and I hope you're right. I mean, I'm just trying to work in my head what combination of data sets, maybe starting with the tokenomics of Terra Luna, might your AI tool have flagged in hindsight to be able to sort of signal to the market that there's something not quite right here, regardless of how the market is interpreting that or appreciating that token when it was sort of flying, so to speak.
With our head of AI, we want to get all the data for all the project, and dead projects are the same importance than a good project, And when I say good project, it's like Ethereum. It's a nice project, perfect project, okay? This one is ongoing production, so it's okay. We can evaluate it. But if you take all the L1 that failed, then you can train your model to get a lot of points that you cannot evaluate by yourself. It's very hard. If you take some professional in analysis, working in big companies or working for themselves, YouTuber or even professional that do your own research, it's really hard to evaluate. If you want to evaluate a new L1, you can evaluate it and you can compare it with 1, 2 L1 that works, and you want to mimic or to find similarities between this one and the other that works. Okay, 1 or 2, maybe 3. Wow, start to be big, because you start to have a lot of points. Then if you want to evaluate this L1 with all the L1s, all of them, failed one, successful one, all of them, and try to find everything that is comparable, and that is the same. And then you start to have something. And with Bastien, so the head of AI, we are working on that. We are working on having all those points analyzed, not by a human, because trust me, it's really impossible.
Sure. Okay. So the problem, the data problem's clear. The solution you're aiming to deliver is pretty clear. Tell us more about where is DigNow today? Maybe sharing a little bit about the team, the immediate priorities, the milestones ahead. Can you share a little bit as to where you're at?
Yeah, we do have some to share. So we are the 2 co-founders with Julien, and we are already 4 in the team. So Bastien, the head of AI, and Maxime, the head of marketing. So that's really a game changer to be 4 on a project, because we do have experience in Web3, but they also do have experience in Web3. So I think that we should have like 15 or 16 years of experience accumulated by the 4 of us. So that's really cool, with a lot of ideas, a lot of things that's going every day. So the creativity is really there for our customers. So that's really cool. So about the priority right now, our goal, so that's really important. Our goal is to have a first product ready end of August. So we want to have somebody on our website, in the app on our website, where people can come and test and use, request information, request data. So this is why we have defined as first priority on product the explanation of white paper. So we have collected right now 3,000 white paper, and the goal is that by the end of August, people will come to our platform, share a white paper that they have in mind, and we will make an explanation and evaluation of the white paper based on all the white paper that we collect, to give an explanation of how it works, what are the pros and the cons of the project. And we want to do that in 6 languages. So in English, German, French, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. It will be freemium. It means that people will come on the website and they will access in their own language for the 6 kind of people that have been talking there. And they will get an explanation of white paper. We want to showcase how our technology works, what are the value that we can bring on the table for the people, for the next user. And also what is important in that process is all the tasking model that we are developing right now. So the collection of the data by the community and the validation of the data by the community. So we think that in 1 month, so end of July, we will have this tasking model ready. So people will come to the platform and they will be able to collect the data, define the URL of a project, so the source of the white paper, and they will get points for doing that. And at the end, we can expect an airdrop of our token for the people participating in collecting and validating the data. So in 1 month, that will be ready. And during the month August, we will use all the data collected in addition to the 300 white paper that we have.
So you're effectively rewarding data validators, right? As you're collecting the data,
yes,
real human beings will interact as part of the community to validate the data, and they will earn points in exchange for that.
Yeah,
this is the power. Yeah, go on, Julien.
We didn't discuss much more about our token utility, but yeah, this token is designed for input data and output data, let's say. So if you bring data to DigNow, because what is the big problem in AI is the data set. We need a huge data set. Okay, when we are talking about white papers here, we are talking about 3,000 for now. But of course, it will be much more, and we want to have all of them. And I'm those guy that I need all of them in house. Okay, I don't wanna just have a link and then grab them. We want all of them, all the versions, analyze the versions, analyze everything, and the goal is to done some explanation of the project. Okay, this is the version 0.1 of DigNow. Of course, it's not the final project, of course not, but this is something I want because I really want to go to prod. I'm not those guy that like to discuss and do not do things. I really want to have something in prod. So this will be the 0.1 version. So task, and each people that will bring us some data will be rewarded our token. It will be with our token. It won't be direct because for now the token is not created. So it won't be you send data, you get the token. For now it's some points, and we are evaluating many models to have a better final solution. And then if you get the data, so if you get data with the web interface, it will be subscriptions. Yeah. And if you get the data with the API, then it will be with our token. So you can just cut regarding your needs, and then you pay for your needs, and you don't pay a huge amount of data you do not consume. If you want only the analysis of the tokenomics of one project, you take only this, and then you pay with the token. So this is the token utility. And so it's really how to bring some data and get some data. Of course, it won't be the same persona, and this is where it starts to be really interesting.
So Pierre, you mentioned the MVP. If you like the first version of the app, is it an app? Is it a software? What is it going to be? A web tool, a web interface? If that's going to be August, what next? That's going to be a free service still, right? Yes. At that stage. When do you expect to start monetizing on the service?
Before monetizing it, we want to have in-depth evaluation of the crypto project. For doing that, we need to have more on-chain and off-chain data. So the goal is that we are going to gradually add on-chain and off-chain data to the white paper to go much more deeper in the evaluation of crypto project. So we have already started to collect on-chain and off-chain data, but we are not going to process that for the MVP. There is too much data to handle otherwise. And also what is important is that we developed the team, so the data science and AI team, because we need some resource to process all the data. So this is why we need to prioritize every product that we are working on. And that should be following the roadmap and the fundraising roadmap that we have, because we are fundraising as a private sale in token. So happy we have closed the first round, early contributors round some 2 weeks ago. So we have started now to discuss with VC, business angel, about potential investment in DigNow. So this is important because we need to work on the fundraising side, we need to work on the technical side, and we need to work on the community side. So one other important point is the marketing strategy that we are clearly about to finish. So we are going to launch very soon a marketing campaign to attract people, start to develop a community. And we have 1 month to attract people that are interested to collect and validate the data. So everything on the roadmap is clear. The priorities are well defined, and we are respecting all our deadlines for now. So everything is under control, I would say.
Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for sharing what you're up to over the last hour almost. Any other closing remarks? Maybe invite any viewers to find out more about what you're up to, websites, links. Maybe you can add them to the show notes if you can share those with me.
Yeah, so of course, so we have a first version of the website. It's under redesign, so we'll have a new version very soon. So people can go there. So it's dignow.io. You can follow us also on Twitter, on LinkedIn, We have a Telegram group, but if you go to the website, you will find all the information to access and to follow up for the next steps, of course. So we've started to be much more on the social media since some weeks, but it's going to be higher and higher over the time pass. So that's one of the consequence of the marketing strategy that we are working on right now. So if you want to follow information, just do that. And you can also subscribe to our whitelist. You will have access to the first MVP in August before we release it in public to everybody. So of course, we'll have to have people participating, giving us feedback to improve the quality of the model, and also to participate much more in the protocol. We are also going to develop an ambassador program. So it will come a little bit later. So if you want to have some information, you can just subscribe, and you will get in priority all the information about DigNow.
Fantastic. So well done, guys. Sounds like a really interesting and a very ambitious project, but certainly a very much needed one as well. So I look forward to seeing you deliver on it, and perhaps we can check in again with you guys once we have a real tool up and running.
Awesome.
With pleasure, Francesco. It was really nice to talk with you. Discussion was really high quality. I really like it. So thank you for inviting us. And of course, we can discuss in some month about the advancements of DigNow. It will be a pleasure to come back and be present with your podcast.
Fantastic, guys. All the best.
Thank you.
To any viewers out there, don't forget to register, subscribe, like, and share the love. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
guys.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed our video. If you found the video informative, please don't forget to follow our channel and click the alarm button to be informed of new videos coming through. There is plenty to learn and get your head around on your journey to mastering crypto. Thanks for watching, and see you on our next video.